guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for future videos. With that being said, let's dive right into the video. So this is a video I've been meaning to make for a long time. So today we finally got a review of my personal 2019 Mustang GT Premium with the 5-liter V8 in it. This is the Gen 3 Coyote for the 5-liter that is in the Mustang GTs from 2018 and up Mustang models. With the Gen 3 Coyote, the car makes 460 horsepower and 420 foot-pound of torque, with the red line being increased to 7,400 RPM. This is up for about 25 horsepower and 20 foot-pound of torque from the Gen 2 Coyote, which is still in this generation of the Mustang, but it's from 2015 through 2017, which is a pre-refresh model. With the increased power in 2018 and up Mustang GTs, you will get to 0 to 60 in only 3.9 seconds if equipped with the performance pack. Mine doesn't have the performance pack, so I want to guess maybe 4.1 seconds, which is a huge improvement compared to the second gen Coyote in 2015 to 2017 Mustangs. It's a crazy time we live in. I mean, Mustang GT making almost 500 horsepower with 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. These numbers weren't even possible with cars double the price tag in as little as 10 years ago. I'm honestly really impressed how far we have come in terms of horsepower wars. So the exterior is painted actually race red on my Mustang, and as you can see, it's got the black roof and black wheels, which is part of the black accent package. For interior, we've got the standard black leather seating, which we'll cover later in the video in our interior segment. So this 2019 Mustang GT is also known as the S550 Mustang, which is the 6th generation of the Mustang. S550 Mustang started from 2015 model year and did receive a refresh for 2018 model year. It's hard to believe that S550 Mustang has been out for 5 years already, but I think it still looks modern and stylish despite being an old platform, relatively old platform now. So this car, or my car, is obviously the refresh model, which was 2018 and up, that has a lot of changes actually for just being a refresh model. We'll touch on some of the differences in the video later on. When the refresh first came out, it actually got a lot of hate, and even myself, I didn't like it much in pictures, and it just looked all sloppy with the hood kind of dripping down and the eyes being like half, sleepy. But you really have to see it in person to enjoy this design. When I first looked at the picture, it kind of reminded me of the catfish look of the 4th gen Camaros for the F-bodies. But as I started seeing more and more in person, it really grew on me, and now it looks much better than the 2015 through 2017 Mustangs. It just looks more modern, even though it's the same body style. So anyways, let's highlight some of the options and packages that are on this car specifically. So as we're going through it, you have a better idea if it's a standard thing or you would have to pay extra if you were to buy this car. So this car is a GT with a 5.0. Obviously, the car comes with the premium package, and on top of that, it has the 401A package as well, which includes the digital gauge, which is, in my opinion, a huge selling point for 2018 and up Mustangs. The car looks amazing with the digital gauge in it. It's fully customizable. We'll cover that later in the video in the interior segment. The car is also equipped with the 10-speed automatic transmission, active exhaust, and the black accent package. So just to keep in mind, all of these things that kind of come together. Obviously, it does get pricey, but in my opinion, these options were well worth it. Alright, so let's start with the exterior of my 2019 Mustang GT. As mentioned, 2018 and up models received a refresh, which meant the entire front fascia is redesigned from the ground up. You've got these angry looking headlights, which are LED by the way, and at the bottom you have those fog lights. They also got turn signal integrated into them, which again are LED also. For your daytime running lights, you've got this really cool tri-bar LED design, which pays tribute to the original Mustangs, which I think is really cool that they've kept that. For the refresh models, you have this actually angular design for your daytime running lights to go with the rest of the body design. The grille is actually nice piano black, which has a nice glossy finish to it, while the lower grille is matte black. I wish they had just gone with the glossy finish on both of them, but it doesn't look too bad. If you're up close, it kind of looks a little bit odd. You've got the top half of the grille just shiny, and the bottom half is just matte black, but I think it's not a big deal. So let's take a look at the hood. It's got the nice swooping design, which is Ford has actually done a really good job with it. It's actually for the safety regulations. Cars are having to, kind of have the sloping hood for most cars, and you'll see for most cars that are coming up with the new refresh designs, this has been a common theme. But Ford has done a really good job to integrate the safety but also make the hood look really aggressive and mean. We have two functional hood vents up here with these lines that run down the hood that look really aggressive. And by the way, they carry all the way to the back. You'll see what I mean. In my opinion, it blends really well with the overall car's design language, and the whole front fascia got this menacing look to it, which 2015 through 2017 just had a beautiful, elegant look to it, but this is just angry. Like if you look at in your rear view mirror and someone's driving the Mustang right behind you, it just looks angry. It's about to eat you. So I think it's really aggressive, and I love it. All right, so now let's move on to the side of the car. We have the 50 badges, which lets people know you mean business. Mine are blacked out due to the black accent package, which has a great contrast to the race red color of my Mustang. Mine has also the integrated turn signals in the mirror and also the blind spot monitor, which is actually really handy to use. These are, I believe, part of the 401A package. So if you're looking for just the regular premium Mustang, you're gonna have the little mirror on for your blind spot monitor and no turn signals on your mirror. The hood lines I mentioned earlier carry all the way to the side profile of the car, as you can see from here, which I think is a really great attention to detail that normally isn't really found in American muscle cars. As you come to the rear end, you can see these rear haunches, which adds a really aggressive look, especially when you're driving the car and then you catch a glimpse of it in your side view mirror. It just has a really aggressive, flared out fender kind of look, but it's like absolutely aggressive and just menacing to look at. So the tires on my car is actually Pirelli All Season 255 tires with the 19-inch rims, which is an upgrade from your base Mustangs, which is 235 tires and 18-inch rims, which I don't think is enough for performance. These rims are actually unique to the black accent package, which look really great. I think it kind of has a similar design to the GT 350, but overall they look really good aesthetically, and I'm sure I'll probably end up upgrading them, but for now they look really great. Alright, so now let's move to the back of the car. So the rear end obviously doesn't have much going on. There's not much changes compared to the pre-refresh models too, actually. You've got the standard quad tips on the GT now as opposed to dual tips. The back panel has this indentation going on with your GT emblem, which wasn't there in the pre-refresh, but it has a little bit nice touch to it. The taillight also have this angular design that we kind of saw up front with the daytime running light, sorry. So this kind of goes with the whole theme of just looking, you can kind of see the whole body language carrying through like this little details, which I think is really cool. To finish out, we have the blacked out spoiler. You can get the spoiler delete as well on these cars, but I think the spoiler looks pretty good on this. Of course, we have the backup camera standard feature now, and you also have the trunk release button down there. In terms of trunk storage, you actually have a pretty decent amount of storage there, and the rear seats fold as well, so it provides you a decent bit of space to work with. So now let's move on to the interior part of the car. So we've got the standard keyless entry and remote start as shown earlier. You just put your hands behind the door handle and it unlocks the car for you. You're greeted with the Mustang on the sill plate, which actually illuminates at night and still looks really cool. The Mustang comes standard with the auto headlights, and you can leave it on if you want to. I normally leave mine on. The interior for Mustang has been a low point historically. It's always been functional, unique design, but the choice of material has been rather questionable. Coming from an S197 Mustang, 2006 Mustang GT actually, this makes the S550 Mustang, believe it or not, feel luxurious. In reality, they've really improved the interior with not only just the technology, but also better materials throughout the cabin. As long as you don't come in expecting the interior of a luxury car like a Benz, Beamer, or Audi, you will be more than satisfied. They have evolved the interior to be a great place to be than trying to justify that you buy a Mustang for its performance and the interior should not matter. Obviously, going global and just selling to Europe, they had to up their game. As you can see, the door is nicely padded with leather with accent stitching. Throughout the interior, you actually find the leather in softer spots. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there is plastics in places and, just not as much as it used to be. But you'll find that most touch points have either leather or some sort of soft material going on, so you're not just banging on plastics. It just no longer feels like a compromise in an interior department. Obviously, keep in mind the car does start at $35,000 or $36,000 for a base model GT or $40,000 for a premium. So obviously, it's not going to compared to some of the German rivals, because to get the similar performance, you are looking at $70,000, $75,000 for those M3s, C63s, and all those cars. So there are obviously going to be compromises, but it does not feel like a compromise anymore given its price range. So now looking at the steering wheel, as I mentioned, it's really nicely leather wrapped, and it actually feels more thicker leather than what they had used in 2015 to 2017 Mustangs. But it feels really nice, and you've got all your standard controls that you would come to expect, your audio controls, GPS, cruise control, and all that stuff. My car has leather seats, as mentioned. It's got black leather seats. You can also opt for the Recaro ones, but these are the standard one. And the premium trim actually comes standard with these. You can upgrade it to, I believe, like some form of colored leather seats as well, but mine doesn't have that. But I have to say, these seats are by far the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in. They're perfect for road trips. They're, just you can really cruise down. You'll feel it in suspension, but the seats themselves, you won't get tired of them. Obviously, they also got some thick bolsterings that you can kind of hold you. They can kind of hold you down in a turn. So, if you're going to the track or autocross, you don't have to worry about just sliding and everywhere. The seats are obviously heated and ventilated, as you would come from this segment. Now, as mentioned earlier, my Mustang comes equipped with the 12-inch digital gauge, and I think it looks amazing. It really sets the interior apart from the competition, and even holds it to German luxury automakers. The digital gauge offers not only looks luxurious in the cabin, but also has so many great features and customization options. You've got 3 different layouts to choose from: normal, sport, and track, and I think it just adds a new level of customization because you've got all these colors in them that you can customize to your liking, and you pretty much have your endless customization. I think that's what Mustang has always been about, customization, and this S550 generation of Mustang truly captures that and makes sure you can customize the car however you want to. I actually have an in-depth video covering the digital gauge, covering every single feature, so if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in the description or click the card above. So my car comes with the 9-speaker system, which is standard for the premium. If you go for the base model, I believe you get a 6-speaker system. You can also upgrade from 9-speaker to 12-speaker system from the Bang & Olufsen system. I believe it costs like about $1,000 or something, so if that's your thing, you can also do that. But I would say the premium system sounds pretty nice. The premium trim also comes standard with the Sync 3, which adds CarPlay and Android Auto, which will probably take care of most of your needs. I find myself to be using my CarPlay for 99% of the time. The Sync 3 units also have the 8-inch screen, which is actually pretty responsive and user-friendly to use. If you're not using Apple CarPlay, Sync 3 allows you to do any of the basic stuff that you would expect. You've got your music, phone connectivity, navigation, and more. So you can pretty much have all of your suite up there. So if you don't want to connect your phone, you've got everything. As far as music is concerned, you can play your music via USB or Bluetooth. Since Apple CarPlay, I think, just makes everything so much easier now, I barely find myself using the actual Sync 3 features, including navigation. I feel like Waze or Google Maps is just much better on your Apple CarPlay. So you also have the ability to control the climate from your Sync 3. I find myself to use the controls on the center console, as it's much easier to use and just a lot more user-friendly. I like the cool aspect of the dial for the temperature change. It's got a nice touch to it and also feels really premium. It's got a little bit of heaviness to it as you're going up and down for it. Obviously, the surrounding, unfortunately, is all plastic, but I don't think it really matters. Moving down, we can see these toggle switches, which adds a little fighter jet cockpit feeling to it. This, in my opinion, looks really nice and just adds a cool aspect to the interior of our Mustangs. You've got the traction control, hazards, steering mode, and drive mode selection. We will cover the steering mode and drive modes later in the video. Now the best part about Mustang's interior is the back seats. Yeah, you're better off not using them. I mean, they're okay, but I cannot see why anyone who's not short would want to sit back there, especially for longer road trips. I mean, they do the job just fine, but don't expect much out of it. Now to the part that matters the most of us to the car enthusiasts is the performance. So as mentioned earlier, this 2019 Mustang GT has a 5-liter engine that makes 460 horsepower and 420 foot-pound of torque. This will take you to 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, which is really impressive. My car has a 10-speed automatic transmission and it feels lightning fast compared to the old 6-speed automatic transmission found in earlier S550 Mustangs. Leaving it in drive mode does its job pretty decently. It will actually skip gears, 2nd and 4th gear specifically, if you take off from a light just under normal light throttle. Put it in sport mode, the car just transforms into a complete beast. And it's impressive how just tuning it to a different mode can just show a different side of the car even though it's running the same tune. In sport mode, the car just downshifts so quickly, and always make sure you're in the right gear. If you're cruising in the highway in sport mode, as soon as you give it a little gas, the car is going to downshift instantly and it just goes. The Mustang is also equipped with the pedal shifter, which can be really fun to use. I've done a review of pedal shifter earlier, so you can check out the video by clicking the link in the description. Pedal shifters are actually really fun to use. They can be a little slow at lower speeds, but overall they're decently quick. If you're going to racing, you're probably better off leaving the car in sport or track mode to get the best shifts possible. But pedal shifters are really useful when you're just trying to have fun on the back roads or whatsoever. The car has different driving modes as well. You have normal, sport plus, track, and snow and wet mode. Sport mode and track mode allow you to hold gears much longer and increase throttle sensitivity. The car feels much more alive in these modes. Sport Plus mode actually turns off stability to allow you to have a little bit more fun, while track mode turns off the traction control completely. So don't be one of those Mustang drivers if you're going to leave it in track mode. As far as steering modes are concerned, you have 3 different steering modes. You've got Comfort, Normal, and Sport. As you'd expect, the weight of the steering wheel changes with these modes. With Sport mode, you get a much heavier steering, while the Comfort mode is really great for road trips. Since we're on the topic of steering, let's actually discuss the handling of the Mustang. Mustangs have been known to be straight line car and not much for handling. The stereotype of this is no longer true with the S550 Mustang generation. For S550 Mustang generation, Ford finally went independent rear suspension and ditched the old solid rear axle. This results in improved handling but also comfortable suspension, at least for a muscle car. The handling is pretty good on my car. It has some body roll and you can definitely feel the weight of the car, but it's pretty good for some twisty back roads and even having some fun. But if you want to compete or take the car to track, you will need to upgrade or opt for the Performance Pack Mustang. I've actually driven the Performance Pack 1 Mustang GT and they feel a little bit better than my car. The Performance Pack equipped Mustang feels a little bit more stiff and agile. I wouldn't say it's night and day, but it's definitely noticeable on the street, and I'm sure on track it's even more evident. So keep that in mind if you want to take your car to the track frequently. Obviously, it would come down at a cost of the compromised ride quality. Non-performance pack equipped Mustang GT, like my car, I feel like are a perfect balance for a street-driven car with occasional autocross or track day for fun. Because the ride quality is very comfortable, especially for road trips. Obviously, with bumpy roads, it can be a little bit bouncy, but nothing too bad. Coming from an S197 Mustang GT with solid rear axle suspension setup, this feels like a luxury car with its ride quality. So, what do I think of the 2019 Mustang GT? Well, overall I think it's an amazing car. It's got some insane performance and holds up well against the competition. It's honestly really difficult to beat the Mustang GT in terms of its bang for your buck as far as the performance is concerned. 5.0 has been tried and true design, so it's reliable and makes great power. Best part is that it revs all the way to 7,500 RPM in the Gen 3 Coyote. Combine that with the amazing 10-speed transmission that is leaps and bounds above the old 6-speed auto found in pre-refresh S550 Mustang, it's a no-brainer. Now the performance and all is, it's great and all, but I'm assuming most of us don't track or race Mustangs every weekend, and I think that's where Mustang really shines. From comfortable suspension, at least for the type of the car it is, to creature comforts offered throughout the interior, it just makes a well-balanced car. This is a car that you can easily daily drive and still take it to the track on the weekend to have some fun. I think Ford did an amazing job with these S550 Mustangs, especially by improving the interior and the suspension of the Mustang. Those two were by far the most common complaints Mustang owners had. Ford answered these complaints and made the S550 Mustang a well-rounded car. I would highly recommend to anyone in the market to pick up the S550 Mustang GT, as you will be pleasantly surprised. Changes from the 2018 and up models are well worth it, from the digital dash to the high-revving Gen 3 Coyote, and of course the amazing 10-speed transmission. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of my 2019 Mustang GT. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.